National 5, 2023, multiple choice 1. The average rate of a chemical reaction was calculated to be 5 centimetres cubed per second for the first 60 seconds of the reaction. What volume of gas was collected in the first 60 seconds? So firstly, we write out the formula. Average rate is equal to change in quantity over change in time. We're going to have to rearrange that because we want to work out the quantity of gas collected. So that would be change in quantity is equal to average rate times the change in time. We want to substitute in the values given in the question. So it would be 5 times 60. And when you put that into the calculator, that means that the quantity of gas being produced would be 300 centimetres cubed. Multiple choice 2, which line in the table correctly describes a proton? So remember that a proton is found inside the nucleus. Protons are positive, and because it's found inside the nucleus, which is a central part of the atom, is going to have a mass of 1, which means the correct answer to this is multiple choice answer A. Multiple choice 3, which of the following compounds forms molecules with an angular structure? So for each of the examples, you want to find out the group and the valency for each of the elements in the molecule. You then want to circle the one with the highest valency. That number is associated with the shape of the molecule. So the one which would have an angular shape, which is shape number 2, would be C, which is SCl2. Multiple choice 4, which of the following diagrams could be used to represent the structure of lithium fluoride? So the first thing we have to do is identify the types of elements. So if we look up lithium and fluorine in the periodic table, we have a metal and a non-metal, and therefore that would be ionic bonding that the lithium fluorides would have. Remember that metals want to lose electrons to form positive ions, and non-metals gain those electrons to form negative ions. So we're looking for the image which we can see positives and negatives in a lattice structure, which is multiple choice answer B. Multiple choice 5, in which of the following compounds does the iron have a 3 positive charge? You may wish to use the data booklet to help you. So for us to work out the charge on a transition metal, I've tagged the video to show you the steps, but we would do a reverse SV-SDF, where we can put the fixed valency of the other element in the compound, which is not iron. When we do this, we can see that the only one which has an Fe3 plus ion is multiple choice answer B, iron phosphide. Multiple choice 6, which solution contains the least number of moles of solute? So we're going to have to use our triangle, our never cuts violets, and the question wants us to calculate number of moles, so we're going to do N is equal to C times V. We can insert the concentration straight from the answers of A, B and C and D in, but for the volumes we have to put them into litres and divide them by 1,000. And when we put that into our calculator, we can see that the one which has the least number of moles of solute would be D, which comes out at 0.0625 moles. Multiple choice 7, which of the following substances, when shaken with water, would cause the pH of water to increase? You may wish to use the data booklet to help you. So what we have to know is that metal oxides, hydroxides and carbonates can dissolve in water to form an alkaline solution, and that's only if they're soluble, whereas non-metal oxides dissolve in water to form an acidic solution. Remember, we want the pH of the water to increase, and bases have pHs greater than 7, which means C and D cannot be correct as those are non-metal oxides and would form acids. When we look up page 8 of the data booklet to check the solubility, we can see that aluminium oxide is insoluble, so therefore would not dissolve and not create ions in solution, whereas barium oxide is very soluble, so therefore would change the pH to increase. So the correct answer to this is multiple choice answer B. Multiple choice 8, nickel carbonate, nickel hydroxide and nickel metal all react with dilute sulfuric acid. Which of the following statements is true for all 3 reactions? So to be able to do this, you need to know the word equations for each of the reactions. So if we have a carbonate base plus an acid, it will always produce a salt plus water plus carbon dioxide gas. A hydroxide base plus acid would form a salt and water. And metal plus acid gives us a metal salt plus hydrogen gas. So what we can see that they all have in common is they all produce a salt. remember, for naming salts, the metal comes from the base's name, which would be the nickel, and the second part of the name comes from the acid, which would be sulfate from the sulfuric acid. So the correct answer to this is multiple choice answer C.